Cynthia. Welcome to the God Place. Today I'm with one of my favorite people. Her name is Juliann. We've been friends for a long time. She was my yoga teacher in Tennessee, and we have wonderful conversations pretty much daily about all the junk that's happening in our world right now. There's so much chaos, and it's important, especially now, that we learn how to go into our bliss, into the state of love, into the place of peace, love, and joy, on earth as it is in heaven, as Jesus explained, to find our heaven on earth when it seems like there's so much darkness going on. So Juliann and I, we comfort each other. When I'm having a bad day, she's having a good one. When she's having a good one, I'm having a bad. Sometimes that happens, but we're always talking about how we can do something to make the world a better place. And that's why I created the God Place. And I have Juliann here right now because we have some amazing conversations. And I decided to start recording them and share them with people who are looking for that place of bliss. Hi, Juliann.
Hi, Cynthia. It's so great to be here. And I created Heart's Resource for just that reason, because how do we get to that place inside ourselves where we can pull off the layers of our world around us, per se, but it's really what's going on up in here in our thinking mind, and the obstacles and obscurations of our thinking mind,
Monkey mind.
The monkey mind.
You call it the monkey mind. I love that term, the monkey mind.
We're swinging from one emotion to another, one thought to another.
Like swinging from tree to tree.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And
they're like primordial. It's so primordial, the monkey mind. When you expand into the God space, the source space, the love space, the creator space, whatever you want to call that, and get out of this doggone thing because it doesn't serve us well. You have to let go of all of those thoughts, all of those things going back and forth. Let's talk about that. You were the one who taught me the term monkey mind, and that has served me so well when I'm in a place of confusion or chaos. So let's talk about that.
To educate yourself about yourself. There is knowledge and wisdom about learning about who you are and about yourself that we all have part of our nature and who as human beings. And in yoga, it teaches about the kleshas, which is actually such things as our thinking, where our thinking goes. It's maybe confusion is one of them, maybe desire, anger, arrogance, jealousy, pride. All these, once we understand, we break down all these different emotions that stem through us, and we cling to them. So if we're angry, if something happened, made us angry, well, that whatever happened didn't make us angry. It was actually how we perceived it and took it in. And then therefore, it's our responsibility as our beings, our individual beings, to go to not point it outward that somebody did something to you, but rather look and do the work within yourself. Why did I turn that energy into anger? Why did I turn that energy into jealousy? But these in yoga, these are obscurations. These are things that keep us away from ourselves. So it's so important to do the breathing techniques, the breath work, to steady and calm the mind, and do the meditation. Because yoga is about, it's like raining the mind, the monkey mind in. We're not trying to get away or push down or push out our emotions, but we're harnessing so we don't go swinging like a monkey in a tree from one limb to another. So, and we all have these things. Sometimes Cynthia would say to me, something like, how come you're acting like that? I said, Cynthia, I'm human. I have them too. We've come through a lot.
I answered that to you before. Hey, where did you go? So who took over your body? This doesn't sound like Juliann.
It was a little Julie in me.
Well, we all do it. We all do it because we're having the human experience, and we need to give ourselves a hug and love through it. But the more that we can connect with source energy, with God, with Creator, connected, and really, for me, just listening to the words that Jesus said. So there's so many great teachings. You got to get past the religion and the organized stuff and all of that, and which churches. Forget all that stuff. Just go listen to what Jesus had to say. On earth as it is in heaven. What does that mean? It means that heaven is right here. And if you're processing it with love, joy, bliss, and especially appreciation, you are experiencing heaven on earth. That's simple.
The tools that Jesus left us with, if you think, let's look at what he left us. What was his teachings? Because these tools are what get us there to that place that he is at. And if we're sitting here our whole life, living out our life thinking, one day I'm going to die and I'm going to heaven. I get to see heaven. Woohoo! Yay! Well, God will say, well, what did you do down on earth? Did you make heaven on earth? What have you done? What have you done for me lately? God say.
Or maybe we'll show up and we'll say, hey, this looks like a lot like what I just left.
Yeah.
Surprise! Heaven is a state of mind. Maybe.
Remember your child, what you felt like when you're a child, very, very little, your joy, that somewhere in your life, everybody's felt that sense of joy, just unconditional, running through your body that you didn't know where it came from, but it was just there. Maybe it was a day you got up and like 2 years old and you sat in front of a sunny, warm window after 6 months of snow and cold. And you just laid there and you're like, in the stillness is where we find this. In the stillness is where we find God. In the between the notes, the sound between the notes is where it's in the vibration. It's in the vibration. The silence is not silent. And if you're really in tune, you have to use your other senses. You're going to be awakened to the life there is within the silence. It's not life like this we got all around us, the chaos.
Right.
But it's all perception. It's how you perceive stuff and what you think about things and how you internalize stuff. Because you're allowing your mind to run you. You just, the mind's very powerful and it'll go wherever you want it to go. Right. You're leading that horse.
Yeah.
And
I'm a composer. And so I'm very aware of note to note. And I heard Wayne Dyer one time say that God's voice is silent. And then I think, well, we know God's voice is silent, but then Wayne Dyer said, the music is in the silence between the notes, which to me, I put that together as that music is really a note, God's voice, a note, God's voice, a note. And for me, less is more. That's how I compose. note to note with the silence in between. And that's how I actually learned how to meditate, was focusing on the silence in between, playing music, very gentle, beautiful music, and focusing on that silence in between. Eventually, you go in more and more into the silence. It'll take you into the silence, and that's the voice of God. So all music, all sound comes from the silence. Just like a blank canvas. That's the other thing I like to do when I'm meditating, is I just imagine a blank canvas and I'm looking at the field of all potentiality. I can put anything on that canvas I want to. So when you think in those terms, when you wake up every day and there's a blank canvas, and you think of a blank canvas, and you have plans, you have things that, we scheduled this to be together today. But we had the choice to do that. And you have unlimited choices all day to make something to eat, to visit with a friend, to sit outside under my oak tree that I love, hug my oak tree. I can do anything. I can do this. Our choices during the day there's no limit to them, including what we're watching or doing on this doggone thing. If you're watching screens, and you and I have done this, we've been following different information than what we see on mainstream media. None of it's good. All of it's yuck. So lately I've been turning the screens off. That includes my television. And I sit at the piano. Or, not everybody composes, but there's something creative you can do, even if it's a doodle pad. There's something that you can do. Listening to beautiful music will put you there. Going outside and listening to the Musaka Mundana, which is nature's music. So that's just understanding that all of it's here for you. Everything that you need to be in a state of bliss, state of love, state of joy. I do that if I think of Winnie the Pooh and my grandchildren, close my eyes. I'm right there. Exactly. I love how you teach. I love how you teach. Talk about breath.
So, yoga, it's the same thing as what I bring to my teachings with yoga is that point of like Cynthia was saying, the silence between. So the breath is that point of which on the inhalation and the exhalation, there is, as you inhale and just slightly hold, you'll feel that silence, and then come down and then hold it at the other end, just for a second. Don't do a lot of intensive breathing yet. And then just, if you take an inhale through your nose right now and hold it, and exhale and hold it. And you do practice that, you're going to start feeling exactly the same thing that Cynthia was describing with her music, that moment. It's an internal shifting and an opening and an awareness of the energy moving around in there, because you have quieted the mind. You've used the breath to steady the mind, and you're coming into your heart source. And it's the same thing in every posture you do. When you breathe, the same way, you get into a twisting pose, and you twist, and you come out of it a little bit, and then inhale and exhale and twist more into it, and then stay in it with a few breaths. you're going to start seeing the movement of the breath, of the energy within the asana, the posture. Because it's not just the posture alone that's going to help you. Proper breath is very important, and awareness of that subtle in between states of body and breath.
You mentioned to me one time about we all need food. Or
Yeah,
we don't need food. Wait, talk about that. We don't need food.
We can go without food and we can go without water for a certain period of time till our body requires it again. You cannot go without breath. You will die. Period. Your energy has left the body. It's gone.
And that's what they
actually
drawing your last breath, or that person had their last breath, and it actually rattles at the end.
And actually now that's a little more going on there when a person crosses over, when they actually take their last breath. You're going to physically see it or hear it, but it for them, they're still feeling that in-between state. They're feeling a lot of movement, a lot of shift, a lot of change, and then their mind is going to maybe reflect over what has gone on in this past lifetime for them. There's so many different things that can happen, but with the mind, you can see light, you can see dark, you're going to see so many things. So with meditation, a lot of prayers and meditation to focus and steady the mind, that is truly the true practice of yoga in this lifetime, is the practice to prepare us as we study to transit, not only in this lifetime as a human being, but to be able to make that transition from life to death into a better place, and help us have that crossing over journey with the ability to direct what's happening to us in the crossover. So, and not just direct, but the ability to handle the different things we might see or come up, or the transition of our physical body as the body's shut down, the elements shut down one into the other, the organs start shutting off. So all of that, really profound. So that's why it's so important to do this work in this lifetime, because it's always refining you like a diamond in the rough. It takes time to make a beautiful diamond. Yeah. And but as you continue to sculpt and structure that diamond, if you hit it the wrong way, it'll fall, break apart. So it's stay on right practice and pure path, and keep practicing and keep moving through things, because you're still stuck in the human ego, the mental, the kleshas, the dualities. And if you haven't had a lot of practice in the past, it's just that my teachers, the Kempo, say slow grow is good grow. Slow grow is good grow. So I was telling them this weekend at the yoga workshop that, you go to the gym. What's your intention, first of all? Go to the gym, lose weight. Okay, I want to lose weight. I'm going to the gym. I get in there. Poof, poof, poof. Jogging, lifting stuff, whatever. What about the rest of you? If your intention is I want to go in here, connect with who I really am, my higher self, all this other stuff is only a small part of the pie, the losing weight. You think that if you have a pie and you section it off into all these different things you want to do in your life with your body or whatever, in the center of that pie, there's your source. It's all interconnected, but you can't pull one piece here and one piece there and expect a whole result, a whole pie. You know what I mean? You have got, when you come into your source and understand that everything is energy, your energy, get past the chitta vritti nirodha, the fluctuations of your own mind. Tell yourself you're going to harness it. You're going to calm it down. so that you can do the inner work. The outer work will fall in place. You have yourself a nice, beautiful whole pie. And your whole being in presence will radiate and illuminate. And your life will be more balanced.
Going into the God place. That's what I call the God place, the place of bliss. And also when I'm aware of my breath in yoga, or when I go to the gym and work out and I'm feeling more breath because, I'm exerting myself. I have an appreciation for life and the life I have, for that energy of life, because every soul right now that is embodied in a human body is a very courageous one, because this human experience comes with the light and the darkness. And that's why it's so important to go into your heart energy, like your heart resource, what you talk about, going into your heart, going into the place of love, going into that bliss, that conscious awareness of your breath, and saying being grateful for every breath that you take, and saying thank you for this life experience. Thank you for this life experience. The breath is the life. I love it when you talk like that.
Well, if you take like this, like we say, you ride the breath. So if you take, like, of course, I'm just sitting here in a small space, but if I could show you in a yoga pose, but I'm just going to show you with my arm. I am going to take an inhalation. As I inhale, I'm going to move my arm up, okay? And as I exhale, let it come down. So the practice is, I'm going to exhale out all my air first. Then I inhale. And I allow my body, my hand, to move with the breath. And then I exhale. That becomes more mindful.
I love that.
Of our movement and concentration, and mindful of ourselves. When we are exercising our mindfulness. It's not just going out there going, lift weights. Eventually my arm's going to get tired. Well, you can even do that. You can do weights, go.
Oh man, you're right. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to walk over to the gym and do that today.
Nice and slow, because within maybe 30 seconds, your muscles will tire.
Right.
And then you give them a rest, so now you're talking physical. We are so used to dissecting everything and labeling everything in our culture, in our lives, that we forget the oneness and the mindfulness. But it's not just mindful of the move, it's use the breath with it.
Right.
It's a whole different thing.
Well, I saw myself in a video waving to my grandkids, and this thing was like waving. We won't be doing that. So I've been going to the gym, and I always do those tricep things, right? Mm-hmm. But I just do them. Now I'm going to do it with intention and focus on my breath. I'm going to do that because it brings to mind that expression of we're too busy doing and we forget about being.
Right. And the thing that, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, and also half in a whole lotus or whole in a half lotus. It's much more important to be whole where you're at. So don't worry about trying to get into a full practice like somebody else can when your body is not ready. but it's important to be whole in your halfness. And the thing is, practice like mindful of your alignment and opening the central channel of your body. So when you're doing stuff, mindful that you're not weakening certain areas, skillful practice, mindful. And if you don't know proper alignment, come see me. I don't know what else to say. Come see me.
Well, thank you, yoga teacher. Maybe we can.
Thank you. Namaste.
Maybe we can do a show one time where you can show us some simple movement. We can do that next time. But I always love what comes out of your mouth.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Awesome.
Do your thing.
Namaste to you. God bless.
At the end of every yoga class, you would do that. Thank you, Juliann. I love you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.